This is the Moto Edge 60, a new mid-ranger with a curved screen and a 3x zoom camera. So is this phone the sweet spot in this year's Moto Edge family? I'm Will for GSM Arena, and let's find out in our Moto Edge 60 review. Motorola's Edge series phones are quite recognizable with their curved designs and Pantone colors. And this year they bring a bunch of Moto AI-based features too. The Edge 60 itself is more of a middle-of-the-road option in the series. It has a telephoto zoom camera, unlike the Fusion, yet its chipset is not as powerful as the Pro models. And the phone packs some upgrades over last year, like better ingress protection, a larger battery, expandable storage, and a new ultrawide cam. Our model has a back covered with vegan leather, though there's also a textile-like option and a sandpaper-ish one. Like I mentioned, the Edge 60 brings those signature curves. Both the back and front meet a thin plastic frame. The phone feels quite light and comfy in hand. Now, if you didn't notice, our Edge 60 has gone through a bit of accidental drop testing. The plastic frame got a little dinged up, but the phone survived with no issues. This phone is generally pretty tough. It even meets a military standard for use in extreme conditions. Like last year, there's IP68 rated protection against dust and water, but now the phone is IP69 rated too, against heated water jets. The display of the Edge 60 is a curved 6.67-inch OLED with a 1220p resolution, a 120Hz refresh rate, and Gorilla Glass 7 eye protection. The display looks quite good. There's plenty of sharpness here, and you have support for 10-bit color depth. You get HDR10 Plus video playback here too. Just like last year, the screen's brightness is great. We measured up to around 500 nits with the manual slider, and this can boost to 1400 nits in auto mode when needed. And the refresh rate behavior is the same too. You get 120 Hz when interacting with the screen to smooth out your swiping and scrolling, and this can dial down to 60 Hz when the phone is idling to save some energy. Like last year though, there's no support for an always-on display here. For audio, there's a pair of stereo speakers, and they're loud, scoring an excellent mark on the charts. The audio quality is just average though. Highs are well presented, but vocals and bass leave more to be desired. You can listen for yourself with our comparison tool linked below. An interesting development this year is the addition of expandable storage through microSD. That's on top of the 256 or 512 gigs of UFS 4.0 storage built in. The Edge 60 series runs on Android 15, with Moto's own Hello UI interface on top. And this year, Hello UI comes with Moto AI. It's an extensive suite of AI-based features that even integrates features from other AI platforms. If you'd like to find out more about Moto's software experience and Moto AI, you can check out our dedicated video. And as for support, Motorola promises 3 major OS upgrades and 4 years of security patches for the Edge 60 series. Under the hood of the Motorola Edge 60 is the same chipset as the Edge 60 Fusion, a Dimensity 7300. In benchmarks, it's no chart topper, and it's worth mentioning that it's not exactly an upgrade over the chipset in the previous model, a Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 AE. The scores are roughly the same, and even lower in some tests. Still, the performance is adequate for the class, and the phone feels responsive in your daily tasks. And as expected for a modest chipset, the sustained performance is quite stable, without thermal throttling. The Moto Edge 60 is powered by a 5200 mAh battery, a minor increase over the 5000 mAh one inside the Edge 50. Moto has done a lot better with the battery life this time around. The Edge 60 earned a solid active use score of 12 hours and 16 minutes in our tests, as compared to a sub-10 hour score last year. The charging hasn't changed, it's again 68 watts, and there's no charger included in the box. Using a proper Moto adapter, we charged the phone from 0 to 76% in a half hour, and a full charge took 45 minutes. That's on the speedy side for the class. But for some reason, while the Edge 50 had wireless charging support, that's not the case with the Edge 60. On to the Edge 60's triple camera setup. There's a main cam, a 3x telephoto, and a new 50-megapixel ultrawide, which replaces last year's 13-megapixel one. During the day, the main cam produces nice photos with plenty of color, good sharpness, and relatively wide dynamic range, despite the contrasty look. The detail isn't perfect. We notice soft patches on foliage, especially grass. But a bigger issue is consistency. Almost half of the photos we took came out blurry, soft, and noisy, or without HDR applied. Here are some portrait photos. The subjects come out a little rough around the edges. 2x zoom from the main cam is usable, but there's visible softness and noise, as well as upscaling artifacts. In low light, the main cam does a decent job. When the photos come out right, they have plenty of detail and wide dynamic range. Colors are conservative, and there's plenty of sharpening added here. Unfortunately, we noticed the same inconsistency when shooting at night as we did during the day. Many of the photos we took were unusable, coming out foggy, fuzzy, and noisy. Now for the 3x telephoto zoom. In good lighting, it does a solid job. Though its colors are more conservative and dynamic range is more limited than the main cameras, you get a good level of sharpness and detail. And at night, the zoom camera's photos are pretty good, with enough detail, nice colors, wide dynamic range, and low noise. And here's the new ultrawide camera. Its daylight photos look really good for this sort of camera, better than last year. They're generally sharp and have plenty of detail. And the colors are spot on. Since the camera has autofocus, it can also take macro close-ups. We're not really impressed with the end results though. At night, we expected more out of this camera. The photos come out very soft, yet with a ton of added sharpness. Detail is lacking, and dynamic range is limited, with dark shadows and some clipped highlights. Moto has swapped the selfie cam for a 50 megapixel one this year, and it does a great job. The subject is always well exposed, the colors are nice and natural, the sharpness is good, and the level of detail is impressive. Dynamic range is wide, and noise is low. The Edge 60 can record videos in 4K at 30 FPS with all of the cameras, including the selfie cam. 4K videos taken with the main camera come out sharp and detailed, with wide dynamic range and accurate colors. The telephoto's zoomed videos are a bit soft for 4K resolution, but they're generally decent. And the ultrawide does a good job when recording videos. They're sharp and detailed, and the clips have livelier colors than the other cameras. The electronic video stabilization smooths things out quite nicely. And in low light, the main camera's 4K videos come out very soft and noisy, with clipped highlights. So there you have it, the Moto Edge 60. It packs a lot of nice features, plus there are plenty of upgrades over last year. There's better ingress protection, longer battery life, expandable storage, and Moto AI features. And the new ultra-wide and selfie cameras do a great job too. Our main complaints are that Motorola has gotten rid of the wireless charging, and the main camera's performance is inconsistent. You can also get a better chipset at this price. And we have to mention the cheaper Edge 60 Fusion. It lacks the telephoto cam, but otherwise has the same features, plus a more consistent main camera and better battery life. So while the Edge 60 is a decent mid-ranger, if you're not dead set on having this telephoto camera, then the Fusion model will get you more bang for your buck. Thanks for watching, guys. Here's a link to our review of the Edge 60 Fusion. Or if you want a more powerful chipset, you can check out our review of the Poco X7 Pro. Let us know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one.